5 years ago, I gave my parents every penny I had saved since high school, $40,000, because they told me my father was dying. Yesterday, I discovered it was all a lie. I'm Skylar, and this isn't the kind of story I ever thought I'd share online, but I need someone to tell me if I'm crazy for what I'm about to do. That morning started like any other. I was scrolling through Instagram during my coffee break at the law firm where I work as a paralegal. Then I saw my brother Nolan's post. Him standing in front of a gleaming high-rise downtown, designer sunglasses catching the sun, that smug smile I'd grown up with. The caption read, "Hard work looks good on me. Slaves blessed to luxury life." I almost choked on my coffee when I saw the first comment. "That down payment came through clutch, huh? Thanks, Mum and Dad." My hands started shaking. I called my best friend Isla immediately. "Hey, Sky, aren't you at work?" "Did you see Nolan's post?" "The douchey one with the building. Yeah, why?" I stepped into the empty break room, lowering my voice. "Remember that money I gave my parents for Dad's surgery?" "The 40 grand. How could I forget? You ate ramen for a year after that." "The timing. Isla, the timing matches perfectly with Nolan's condo purchase." There was a long pause. "Call your mum, right now." I did. My mother answered on the third ring, her voice syrupy, sweet as always. "Skylar, darling, how are you?" "Mum, I need to ask you something about Dad's surgery from 5 years ago." The slight pause before she answered sent chills down my spine. "Oh, honey, why bring up ancient history?" "Because Nolan just bought a luxury condo and someone commented about a down payment from you and Dad. See Skylar." Her tone shifted, sharp edges emerging. "Your brother worked very hard for that place. I don't appreciate what you're implying." "I'm not implying anything. I'm asking directly, did Dad ever have surgery?" "Of course he did. How dare you question—" "Which hospital?" Another pause, longer this time. "I don't appreciate being interrogated by my own daughter. We did what was best for the family." My blood ran cold. "What exactly does that mean, Mum?" "I have to go. I'm meeting the ladies for lunch. Love you, sweetie." She hung up before I could respond. I stood there, staring at my phone as memories flooded back. Dad, pale and serious, telling me about the emergency surgery he needed. Mum, crying about how insurance wouldn't cover it. Me, emptying my account the next day, believing I was saving my father's life. The thank you note they sent. A generic Hallmark card with a gift card to Olive Garden. I called my father's doctor's office. "Hi, I need copies of my father's medical records from 5 years ago. Gerard Wise?" "Of course. What procedure was this regarding?" "The emergency surgery in June 2018. I heard keyboard clicking. "I'm not seeing any surgical procedures that year, Ms. Wise, just routine checkups." The room started spinning. I grabbed the break room counter for support. "Are you sure? Nothing about his heart?" "Your father's never had any cardiac issues, Ms. Wise. His health has been excellent." I thanked her and hung up. Then I did something I'd never done before. I logged into my parents' shared calendar using the family account Mum had set up years ago. I scrolled back to June 2018. There it was. Not a surgery. A meeting with a real estate agent, followed by a transfer to N's Housing Fund. My phone buzzed. A text from Nolan. "Hey sis, having a housewarming party next month. Save the date." I stared at his message, my vision blurring with tears of rage. They had stolen my money I'd saved since I was 16, working every summer, saving birthday checks, living like a hermit through college. They had taken it all and handed it to my golden child brother for his luxury condo. And they thought I would never find out. I opened my laptop and started a new document. At the top, I typed evidence of financial fraud. Below that, I began listing everything I would need: bank statements, phone records, calendar screenshots, medical records, or lack thereof. My phone buzzed again. Isla. "Well, what did your mum say?" I texted back. "They lied. About everything. Dad was never sick." Her response was immediate. "Holy shit! What are you going to do?" I looked at Nolan's party invitation, then at my growing list of evidence. A plan was already forming in my mind, one that would make them wish they'd never betrayed me. "I'm going to that housewarming party," I replied, "and I'm bringing one hell of a gift." The next morning, I called in sick to work. My hands were still shaking, but now it was from determination rather than shock. I needed proof, hard, undeniable evidence that would make it impossible for them to squirm their way out of this. Isla came over with coffee and her laptop. "Okay, walk me through what we know." I spread my documents across the kitchen table. June 2018, I transferred $40,000 to my parents' account. The memo line reads, "Dad medical emergency." "And you still have access to their shared calendar?" "Yeah, Mum never changed the password from blessed 1963. Look at this." I pulled up the calendar entry. They met with a realtor the day after my transfer cleared. Isla leaned forward, frowning. "We need more than circumstantial evidence. Bank statements." "Already working on it." I pulled up my email. I contacted Otis, remember him? The financial auditor from that fraud case at work last year. The one who helped track down that embezzling CEO? Exactly. He's helping me trace the money trail discreetly. My phone buzzed. Mom calling. I put it on speaker. "Skylar, honey, I've been thinking about our conversation yesterday." "Have you, Mom?" "You know how much we love you. Everything we've done has been for this family. Sometimes parents have to make difficult decisions." "Like lying about Dad being sick?" A sharp intake of breath. "That's not... You're twisting things." "Am I? Because I called Dad's doctor yesterday." Silence. Then, "You had no right to do that." "I had every right. It was my money. Money you gave to your family. We needed it for Nolan's condo." The line went dead. I looked at Ela, who was already typing furiously. "Got it," she said. "Your mum's Facebook post from July 2018. So proud of our son taking this big step. Geesh, proud parents, geesh, new home." The timestamp matches perfectly. My email pinged. Otis had come through. The bank records showed everything. My transfer going into my parents' account, then moving to a joint account they shared with Nolan 2 days later. From there, it went straight to the real estate company. "They didn't even try to hide it," I muttered. "Because they never thought you'd look," Isla said quietly. My phone buzzed again. A text from Sasha, Nolan's girlfriend. "OMG, girl, you have to help me plan the housewarming. Your brother is being so useless with the details." I smiled for the first time in 2 days. "Perfect." "What are you thinking?" Isla asked. "Sasha loves to talk, and she loves to show off on social media." I texted back, "Love to. Coffee tomorrow?" The response was immediate. "Yes, 11 a.m. at Riverside Cafe. You're literally saving my life." The next day, Sasha was already waiting when I arrived, surrounded by Pinterest boards and colour swatches. "Sky, thank God you're here. I need this party to be perfect for the gram." I sat down, ordering a latte. "The place looks amazing from Nolan's posts. Must have been quite a down payment." "Oh my God, right. Your parents are literally angels. Nolan never had to pay a dime himself. We're so blessed." I kept my face neutral, recording every word on my phone under the table. "Mum and Dad are always so generous with him." "I know. Like, remember that time they gave him that huge chunk of money right after college for his business venture? Which, okay, totally failed, but still, they just want him to succeed, you know?" By the time I left, I had everything I needed. I called Otis on my way home. "I've got those records you asked for," he said. "Your parents have been funneling money to your brother for years. The surgery story? They've used similar excuses with other relatives. There's a pattern. Can you put together a presentation, something clear and devastating?" "Already on it. But Skylar, are you sure about this? Family stuff can get ugly fast." I thought about all the years I'd struggled to rebuild my savings, the overtime shifts, the missed vacations, the cheap apartment with unreliable heating. all while Nolan lived in luxury, funded by my sacrifice. They made it ugly when they decided to steal from me. That night I got a text from my cousin Esme. "Hey, I heard you asking questions about Uncle Gerard's surgery. I've been wondering about some things too. Can we talk?" I smiled. The cracks were starting to show in the family's perfect facade. Soon they'd all come crumbling down. My phone lit up with another notification, Nolan posting more photos of his condo. "Living the dream," the caption read, "party details coming soon." "Oh, brother," I whispered, saving the post as more evidence. "You have no idea what's coming." I met Esme at a quiet coffee shop across town, far from our usual family haunts. She was already fidgeting with her cup when I arrived. "Thanks for meeting me," she said, glancing around nervously. "I've been wanting to talk to someone about this for years." "About what exactly?" 2 years ago, Aunt Alison told my parents Dad needed emergency dental surgery. They gave her $12,000. Esme's hands tightened around her cup. "Last month I saw him at a family dinner, asked how his teeth were doing. He had no idea what I was talking about." My stomach churned. They've done this before. Multiple times, I think. Remember Cousin Patrick, the medical fund for his kid? I pulled out my phone and called Otis, putting him on speaker. "Are you hearing this?" "Every word," he replied. "Esme, would your parents be willing to provide bank records?" "They're already furious. Mum found out Uncle Gerard was at the casino the day of his supposed surgery." While they talked, my phone buzzed with a text from Sasha. "Emergency! Can you come by the condo? Having a crisis with the party planning?" I said goodbye to Esme and headed to Nolan's place. The doorman knew me. Sasha had put me on the permanent access list during our coffee date. The elevator rode smoothly to the penthouse level. Sasha opened the door, perfectly manicured hands flying everywhere. "Thank God you're here. I need help with the setup. This smart TV is giving me hell." I looked around the massive space, noting every detail. Floor-to-ceiling windows, marble countertops, a view that probably cost as much as my entire apartment, all bought with my stolen savings. "What's wrong with the TV? I want to do this amazing photo slideshow during the party, but I can't figure out how to connect everything." I examined the TV setup, an idea forming. "You know what? I know someone who's great with this stuff. He could set up something really special for the party." "Really? Oh my God, you're literally an angel." I texted Otis, "How do you feel about a side job? Need someone to set up a special presentation system." His response came quickly. "Already have something in mind, very discreet, very effective." Over the next week, everything fell into place. Otis installed a hidden projector system that could be controlled remotely. Sasha approved all the test slides we showed her, carefully curated photos that revealed nothing of our true plan. Then came the formal invitation. "Join us for an evening of celebration. The Wise family cordially invites you." My mother called that evening. "Skylar, darling, I hope you're planning to say a few words at the party, as his sister." "Of course, Mum. I've been working on something special." "Wonderful, and starting about our last conversation. I hope you understand we only wanted to do what's best for the family." "I know, Mum. Don't worry. Everything will be clear soon." After hanging up, I met with Otis one last time. He handed me a USB drive. "It's all here. Bank statements, calendar screenshots, recorded conversations. Even found some interesting social media posts from your parents bragging about helping Nolan while you were still eating ramen every night." "And the timing?" "Perfect. When you give your speech, just press this button. The presentation will do the rest." I stared at the small device in my hand. They really thought they'd get away with it forever. People like that always do. They count on family loyalty to keep their secrets. My phone lit up with messages. Isla. "Everything ready for tomorrow?" Esme. "Mum's bringing all the bank statements to the party." Sasha. "Can't wait for your speech. Nolan's so excited." I looked out my apartment window at the city lights. Somewhere out there, my family was preparing for their perfect party, their perfect lies, their perfect facade. "One more thing," Otis said, handing me an envelope. I had my accountant draw this up. It's an official invoice for the original $40,000 plus 5 years of compound interest. I smiled, thinking of Nolan's face when I would hand it to him. How much total? $58,423, every penny documented. That night I laid out my outfit for the party, a sharp black dress, professional but striking. The USB drive sat on my nightstand, containing enough truth to shatter their carefully constructed world. My phone buzzed one last time, a text from Mom. "Don't forget to wear something nice tomorrow, darling. The photographer will be there." "Don't worry, Mom," I whispered to the empty room. "This is one party no one's going to forget." I set my alarm, smiling as I thought about tomorrow. They wanted a housewarming party. I'd give them one that would burn their house of lies right to the ground. The day of the party, I arrived early to help Sasha set up. My mother was already there, directing caterers with military precision. "Skylar, don't you look lovely?" She air-kissed my cheek. "Though you could have worn something more colourful. This is a celebration, not a funeral." If she only knew. "Mum, everything looks amazing," he said, watching her preen at the compliment. "You and Dad must be so proud of Nolan's success." "Of course we are, he's worked so hard." She lowered her voice. "Though between us, we did have to help quite a bit with the down payment. But that's what family's for, right?" I recorded every word on my phone, hidden in my purse. "Right, just like when you helped with Dad's surgery." She stiffened slightly, but recovered quickly. "Darling, could you check on the champagne setup?" Sasha bounced over as I arranged champagne flutes. "Everything's perfect. The photographer's here and I've got influencers coming. This party's going to be all over social media." "That's the plan," I muttered. Nolan arrived, looking exactly like the privileged son he was. "Baby sis, you clean up nice." He hugged me, reeking of expensive cologne. "Mum says you're giving a speech?" "Wouldn't miss it for the world." Cool. Hey, did you see my new watch?" He flashed his wrist. "Dad's birthday gift. Pretty sweet, right?" I thought about my Olive Garden gift card and smiled. Very nice. Guests started arriving. I played my part perfectly, the supportive sister, laughing at all the right moments, taking photos, complimenting the decor. Otis texted that he was in position, manning the hidden AV setup. Elizabeth, my parents' oldest friend, cornered me by the appetizers. "Skylar, dear, I haven't seen you since before your father's health scare. How is he doing?" "Which health scare would that be, Elizabeth?" She frowned. "The one where, didn't your parents borrow money from several people, something about emergency treatments?" "How interesting. Would you mind telling me more about that?" By the time she finished, I had 3 more recorded testimonies of my parents' financial manipulation. Elizabeth seemed relieved to finally talk about it. "I always thought it was strange," she whispered. "Gerard looking so healthy right after supposed surgery, and then Nolan's new car appeared." My father clinked his glass, gathering everyone's attention. "Welcome, friends and family. We're here to celebrate not just a new home, but the success of our son." I watched him spin his web of lies about Nolan's hard work and determination. Mum stood beside him, dabbing proud tears. The photographer snapped away. "And now," Dad announced, "Nolan's sister would like to say a few words." The room turned to me. Phones came out to record. Sasha beamed, expecting something Instagram-worthy. I took my position by the massive TV screen, the remote control hidden in my palm. Isla gave me a subtle thumbs up from the crowd. "Thank you all for coming," I began, my voice steady. "Family means everything to us Wises. We believe in supporting each other, don't we, Mum and Dad?" They nodded encouragingly. 5 years ago, I learned just how far that support goes. When Dad needed emergency surgery, I didn't hesitate to give them my entire life savings. $40,000. Murmurs rippled through the crowd. My parents' smiles became fixed. I ate ramen for a year after that, worked overtime, missed vacations, but I didn't mind because I'd saved my father's life. I paused, looking directly at them. Except there was no surgery, was there, Dad? The room went silent. Mum's champagne glass trembled. Skylar, my father warned, this isn't the time. Actually, it's exactly the time, because that money, it went to something else entirely. I turned to Nolan. How's that down payment working out for you, brother? Nolan's face drained of colour. Sasha looked between us, confusion turning to horror. Would anyone like to see where my $40,000 really went? I asked the stunned crowd, finger hovering over the remote. Because I've prepared a very special presentation. My mother stepped forward, voice shaking. Skylar, please. Too late, Mum. The truth's coming out, and this time there's no gift card big enough to make it go away. I pressed the button, and the screen behind me flickered to life. The first slide appeared, a bank statement showing my transfer, followed by the immediate deposit into Nolan's housing fund. The room erupted in gasps. Phones started recording frantically, and as I stood there, watching my family's perfect facade crumble, I felt something I hadn't felt in 5 years. Power. Now, I said, smiling at the cameras, let me tell you what really happened to my money. The presentation continued, each slide more damning than the last. Bank statements, calendar screenshots, social media posts, text messages, all perfectly time-stamped, all telling the same story of betrayal. Here's Mum's Facebook post about Dad's successful surgery. I clicked to the next slide, and here she is 3 days later celebrating Nolan's new condo purchase. Quite a recovery time, wouldn't you say, Dad? My father stood frozen, his face ashen. Mum had collapsed into a chair, her perfectly manicured hands covering her mouth. Skylar, stop this immediately. Nolan stepped forward, trying to grab the remote. Why? Afraid your followers might see who really paid for all this luxury? I gestured around the room. Speaking of which, Sasha, you might want to start recording. This'll be great content for your channel. Sasha, to her credit, already had her phone out. I had no idea, she whispered, backing away from Nolan. You told me you earned this. And here's the best part, I continued, clicking to the next slide. They didn't just steal from me. Elizabeth, remember that money you lent them for Dad's dental work? Look where it went. The screen showed a receipt for Nolan's designer watch, the same one he'd been flashing around all evening. Elizabeth stood up, her voice shaking with rage. Gerard, Alison, how could you? It's not what it looks like, Mum finally spoke, her voice thin and desperate. We were just trying to help our son. By stealing from your daughter? Isla called out from the crowd. By scamming your friends? The room erupted in angry murmurs. Phones kept recording. I saw several guests already typing furiously on social media. Oh, and Nolan! I reached into my purse and pulled out the envelope Otis had prepared. Here's your housewarming gift, an invoice for $58,423. That's my original $40,000 plus 5 years of compound interest. I dropped it in front of him. I expect payment in full within 30 days. My lawyer will be in touch. You can't do this, he sputtered. We're family. Family? I laughed, and the sound echoed through the stunned room. Family doesn't steal from each other. Family doesn't lie about life-threatening illnesses. Family doesn't watch their daughter struggle for years while funding their son's luxury lifestyle. Please, Mum stood up, reaching for me. We can explain everything. Save it for social media, Mum. I'm sure your country club friends would love to hear how you scammed your own daughter. The crowd had started to thin, guests slipping away with embarrassed glances and whispered comments. Sasha was still recording, tears streaming down her face. I trusted you, she said to Nolan. I defended you when people said you were living beyond your means. I posted about your success story to my followers. Babe, please, don't babe me. My whole brand is about authenticity. Do you know what this will do to my reputation? Dad finally found his voice. Skylar, you've made your point. Now stop this before you destroy this family completely. Destroy the family? I turned to face him, my voice ice cold. You did that the moment you decided to steal my money. The moment you looked me in the eye and told me you were dying. The moment you watched me struggle for years without an ounce of guilt. I clicked to the final slide, a photo from 5 years ago. Me, standing outside my old apartment, holding up the Olive Garden gift card they'd sent as thanks for saving Dad's life. Below it, I'd added a simple caption. The price of truth, $40,000. The look on their faces when it all comes out. Priceless. Party's over, I announced to the remaining guests. But don't worry, I'm sure you'll all be seeing this story again. It's probably trending on Twitter already. As if on cue, phones throughout the room chimed with notifications. The first posts were going viral. You'll regret this, Mum hissed as I walked past her. We're your parents. I stopped at the door and turned back one last time. No, Mum, you're just people who taught me a very expensive lesson about trust. Consider it a fair trade. You got your son a luxury condo, and I got the truth. I walked out of the party to the sound of Sasha arguing with Nolan, Elizabeth demanding her money back, and my mother's quiet sobs. In the elevator, my phone buzzed with a message from Esme. That was incredible. They had it coming. Outside, the night air felt clean and fresh. My hands weren't shaking anymore. For the first time in 5 years, I felt light, free from the weight of their lies. I texted Ela. It's done. Her reply came instantly. Worth every penny? I smiled, looking up at the building where my family's perfect facade had finally shattered. Worth every damn cent. The fallout hit faster than I expected. By morning, Wise family scam was trending locally. Sasha's video had gone viral, with commentary ranging from supportive to scathing. My phone wouldn't stop buzzing. Have you seen this? Isla sent me a link to a local news website. The headline read, Social media influencer's perfect life revealed as family fraud. I hadn't even finished reading when Elizabeth called. Skylar, dear, I've been talking with some people from the country club. You're not the only one they borrowed money from. How many? At least 6 families, all for different medical emergencies. Patricia's husband is on the hospital board. He's checked. There were never any procedures. My coffee grew cold as Elizabeth listed names and amounts. By the time we hung up, the total approached 6 figures. Nolan's real estate agent called next. Ms. Wise, I'm handling your brother's property. Given recent developments, the bank is reviewing his mortgage application. Those down payment funds were obtained fraudulently, I finished. I have all the documentation. Yes, well, this could affect his ability to maintain ownership. Good. My phone lit up with a text from Sasha. Just lost 3 sponsorship deals. Brands don't want to be associated with family financial drama. Thanks a lot. I typed back, maybe try being authentic for once. I hear that's good for engagement. Mum's voice message came next. How dare you humiliate us like this? The church council is requesting a meeting with us. Your father's reputation. Do you have any idea what you've done? I did. Exactly what I'd planned to do. Isla came over with lunch and pulled up social media. Nolan had posted a lengthy explanation, claiming I was jealous of his success and had misunderstood the situation. Comment section's not buying it, Isla noted, scrolling through responses. Where's the proof she's lying? Show us the hospital records then. Pay back your sister. My phone rang again. Esme. The family's splitting into camps, she reported. Aunt Margaret's demanding answers about that emergency loan from last year. Uncle Robert's defending them, saying family matters should stay private. Nothing stays private anymore, I said, watching another news notification pop up. A local blog had picked up the story. Trust fund or trust issues, the dark side of family finance. Then came the email from Dad's church. Dear Mr. and Mrs. Wise, in light of recent allegations regarding financial impropriety, we request your presence at an emergency council meeting. I forwarded it to my lawyer, who replied immediately. Perfect timing, filing the civil suit tomorrow. By evening, the story had evolved. People were sharing their own experiences with family financial abuse. My inbox filled with messages. My parents did the same thing. Thank you for speaking up. How did you find the courage? Nolan tried damage control, posting photos of himself working hard at his office. The comments were brutal. Working hard? Spending your sister's money? Must be nice having Mommy and Daddy steal for you. Time to sell that condo, bro. Then came the text I'd been waiting for, from Elizabeth. The country club board met. Your parents' membership is under review. Gerard's been asked to step down from the charity committee. My mother called immediately after. I let it go to voicemail. This is cruel, Skylar. We're being ostracised. Mrs. Patterson wouldn't even look at me at the grocery store. Your father's business partners are asking questions. Is this what you wanted? To destroy everything we've built? I typed out a response. You built it all on lies. Maybe try the truth for once. Isla looked up from her phone. Sasha's doing a live stream. She's crying about being deceived and how she's learning and growing from this experience. At least someone is. My lawyer sent the final draft of the lawsuit. As I signed the papers, another message came through, from my father's oldest friend. Skylar, I've known your parents for 30 years. Never imagined they were capable of this. The church council has reviewed the evidence. They're being asked to step down from all committees. Some are calling for their removal from the congregation entirely. I should have felt satisfied. Instead, I felt oddly hollow. Isla must have noticed. Having second thoughts? No, just realising there's no going back from this. There wasn't any going back from what they did to you either. My phone buzzed one last time that night. A message from Mum. You will regret destroying this family. Mark my words. I looked at the growing pile of supportive messages, the legal documents, the news stories. Then I replied, No, Mum. The only thing I regret is trusting you in the first place. The truth was always going to come out. I just decided to tell it on my terms. Then I blocked their numbers, poured a glass of wine, and watched as their carefully constructed world continued to unravel, one social media post at a time. A month after the party, my lawyer called with news. The bank's foreclosing on Nolan's condo. Without your parents' continued financial support, he can't make the payments. I was at work when the email arrived. Legal documents from my parents' attorney. They were contesting Grandma Rose's will, trying to block my inheritance. They can try, my lawyer said, but given the documented fraud, no judge will side with them. Isla brought lunch to my office. Have you seen Sasha's new video? I hadn't. We pulled it up on her phone. Sasha, looking appropriately sombre in minimal makeup, sat in what looked like a meditation room. My journey to authenticity, she began. After discovering my boyfriend's family's financial deception, I've decided to rebrand. Welcome to my new series, Real Talk with Sasha. Unbelievable, I muttered. Wait for it, Isla said. The video continued. And for my first episode, I'm interviewing someone brave enough to stand up against family financial abuse. Please welcome Skylar. I nearly choked on my sandwich. She what? She's been trying to reach you, says she wants to amplify your story and raise awareness. My phone buzzed. Elizabeth calling. You won't believe this, she said without preamble. Your parents just tried to refinance their house. The loan officer recognised their names from the news, denied. How do you know this? I'm on the bank's board, dear. Your father's credit is toxic right now. Everyone knows. Later that afternoon, Esme sent me a video. It showed Nolan moving boxes out of his condo, cursing at someone filming him. Your brother had a meltdown at the building manager, she texted. Security had to escort him out. I was about to reply when an email notification popped up from a women's advocacy group. Dear Skylar, your story has inspired many victims of family financial abuse. Would you consider speaking at our upcoming conference? Similar requests had been flooding in. Podcasts, blog interviews, support groups. My inbox was full of messages from people sharing their own stories of family betrayal. I started a blog, anonymously at first, The Price of Trust, Surviving Family Financial Abuse. It went viral overnight. Then came the biggest surprise. A notification from my fundraising page, the one I'd started to help other victims of family financial fraud. The donations had crossed $100,000. We should turn this into a proper foundation, Ela suggested. Help people navigate the legal process, provide resources. My phone rang. Otis. Thought you'd want to know, he said. Your parents' church officially excommunicated them yesterday. Something about breach of moral conduct and community trust. I was drafting the foundation's mission statement when Sasha's message arrived. My video about financial transparency got 2 million views. Brands are loving the authenticity angle. We could really help people if we worked together. I ignored it, focusing instead on the email from my lawyer. Settlement offer from your brother. He's willing to pay back the full amount, plus interest, if you'll sign an NDA and take down the social media posts. Tell him he's 5 years too late, I replied. The local newspaper ran a feature. From victim to advocate, how one woman's family betrayal sparked a movement. Mum tried reaching me through a burner number. The house is going into foreclosure. Your father's business is failing. Are you happy now? I blocked the number and opened my laptop, typing out a new blog post. The Cost of Truth, Why Financial Abuse Thrives in Silence. Isla came over that evening with takeout and news. Your story made it to a major network. They want to do a segment on family financial abuse. My phone lit up with a text from Elizabeth. Your mother tried to join the new country club across town. They Googled her name first. Application denied. Then came an email from the Women's Advocacy Group. The conference panel was a huge success. We'd like to establish a scholarship in your name for survivors of financial abuse. I looked at my bank account, finally healthy again after 5 years of rebuilding. Then at the foundation's account, growing daily with donations from people who believed in the cause. Nolan's final Instagram post appeared. Taking time away from social media to focus on what really matters. Thanks for understanding. The comments were merciless. Maybe focus on paying back your sister. Bye, fraud bro. Justice served. My lawyer called one last time that day. The civil suit is proceeding. Given the evidence and public pressure, they don't stand a chance. I sat at my window, watching the city lights. My phone buzzed with another message, this time from a publisher. Your story needs to be a book. Let's talk. I smiled, thinking about all those years of silence, of struggle, of swallowing the betrayal. Now the truth wasn't just free, it was powerful, profitable, and helping others. Opening my laptop, I began to write. 5 years ago, I gave my parents every penny I had. Today, I'm taking back something worth far more, my power. The doorbell rang as I was finalising the scholarship fund paperwork. Isla stood there with a bottle of champagne. The court ruling just came in, she said, holding up her phone. You won. Full restitution plus damages. I let her in, still processing. Have you seen the numbers? 87,000 total, plus they have to pay your legal fees. She popped the cork. Your parents' appeal was denied. My phone buzzed. Esme calling. Uncle Gerard and Aunt Alison are selling the house, she said. They're moving to Florida, saying they need a fresh start away from all the gossip. Running away won't fix what they did. No, but at least they can't scam anyone else here. The whole community knows now. I poured the champagne as notifications kept coming in. The foundation had approved its first round of grants for financial abuse survivors. My book deal was finalised. The scholarship committee had selected its first recipient. Remember when you thought exposing them would leave you alone? Isla asked. Before I could answer, my doorbell rang again. Elizabeth stood there, looking nervous. Your brother's here to see you, she said. He's waiting downstairs. Says he needs to talk. I found Nolan sitting on the building's front steps, looking nothing like the polished influencer he'd once been. Hey, he said quietly, what do you want? I sold everything. The watches, the cars, even that stupid coffee table Sasha had to have. He pulled out an envelope. It's not the full amount yet, but it's a start. I didn't take it. Why now? Because you were right about everything. He stared at his hands. I let them make me believe I deserved it all, that taking from you was okay because I was the special one. And now I'm working 2 jobs, living in a studio apartment. For the first time in my life, I'm actually earning something. My phone buzzed, another donation alert for the foundation. You know what's ironic? I said. That money they stole from me, it's helped more people now than it ever did in your condo. I saw your foundation's website, the scholarship program. He paused. You're doing good things, Sky. No thanks to our family. I know, but maybe that's why this had to happen, to stop the cycle. A notification popped up. Someone had tagged me in a post. A young woman holding a scholarship award letter, crying with joy. The caption read, "Because of Skylar, I can finally finish school after my family stole my college fund." The truth always comes out, I told Nolan. It's just a question of who tells it first. He stood up, leaving the envelope on the step. I'll keep paying until it's all back, I promise. I don't need your promises. I need you to understand why this happened. I do now, and I'm sorry for everything. As he walked away, Esme texted, Mum's organising Thanksgiving. Everyone's asking if you'll come. I thought about all the empty chairs at future family gatherings, the awkward silences, the weight of unspoken truths finally spoken. Not this year, I replied. Back upstairs, Isla was reading comments on my latest blog post. Listen to this one. Your story gave me courage to confront my own family's financial abuse. Today, I filed charges against my uncle who stole my inheritance. My laptop dinged. An email from the publisher. Final draft approved. The Price of Trust hits shelves next month. I opened my balcony door, letting in the evening air. Below, the city hummed with life, with stories untold, with truths waiting to break free. Was it worth it? Isla asked quietly. Losing your family? I looked at my phone's gallery, a photo from yesterday's scholarship ceremony. Young faces bright with hope, with second chances. Then at my bank account, finally healthy and honest. At the foundation's growing impact. I didn't lose a family, I said. I gained something better, truth, purpose, and a whole community of people who understand exactly what it means to stand up and say, enough. My phone lit up one last time, a message from a number I didn't recognise. This is Elizabeth. Your mother asked me to tell you she's sorry. She said she finally understands what she lost was worth more than any money. I didn't respond. Instead, I opened my laptop and began writing a new post. They say blood is thicker than water, but truth? Truth is thicker than both. And when you finally let it flow, it washes everything clean. Even if what's left looks nothing like what you started with. Sometimes that's exactly what healing needs. Isla raised her glass. To truth. I smiled, thinking of all the stories yet to be told, all the voices yet to rise. To truth, I echoed, and to everything it sets free.